conquering the world isn't easy, they say. And yet, it's also not impossible, right? An ambitious plan, but one that provided just the right challenge for the SUV specialist Land Rover. The plan itself was hatched 3 years ago by the Land Rover experience team from JLR Germany. It was the 10th edition of the LRE from Germany and needed to be special. So they charted the longest course ever. Not 1, not 2, and not even 3, but 11 countries.
At the beginning, my view of the Silk Road was okay. First, it was the idea to go to Beijing. And when I came to the Himalaya mountains with my fingers on the map, I said, oh, if I turn right now, I can go to China, Lhasa, Nepal, and then I go to India, which is much better than Beijing. And that was the decision. And it is not really Silk Road, but it's Spice Road. And the Spice Road and the Silk Roads, they joined them. So we did the same.
Starting from Berlin, the cars made their way through Poland, Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, China, including Tibet, Nepal, and were to end up in Mumbai, the headquarters for Land Rover's parent Tata Motors.
Because to organize a tour that takes you 54 days on the road is a huge logistics. So getting people in, getting people out, having a number of team members there for the entirety of the tour, that's a totally different character than doing a Land Rover experience tour that takes you places for 2 or 3 weeks. So that's the one thing. But overall, the whole idea of driving from Germany to the headquarters of our owner, the Tata Group, this is something that has a very, very high emotional aspect to it as well. And we owe Tata very, very much with Jaguar Land Rover. And as far as it's also given them something back to appreciate the ownership, to show our appreciation, and to show that we are really, really happy and lucky with our owners.
And to provide a twist, the team picked the Evoque, the smallest SUV in the portfolio, and also one that has a very urban image, and therefore a point to prove when it came to extreme driving. Meanwhile, over at the Land Rover headquarters in Whitley, the team was considering an expedition to coincide with the global debut of the diesel hybrid version of the new Range Rover. The brand's flagship was heading into new territory, and so it was important to prove the capability and endurance of the hybrid drivetrain. And so, 3 hybrids were to undertake a similar journey, borrowing from JLR Germany's idea, covering a nearly similar, albeit longer route that added UK, France and Belgium to the mix. 2 convoys travelled a day apart so as to not encounter each other on the common routes, and both were supported by a fleet of the sturdy yet sexy Discovery. Both groups comprised some guests and JLR personnel who made the entire 54-day journey, while others joined in on specific legs only. I'm told the rugged terrain of Kyrgyzstan was the most exciting, while parts of Kazakhstan, China and Nepal also proved to be stunning. While I too would have liked to have joined the group on one of the earlier legs, I was still happy to be on the last run in our own beautiful country. The convoys crossed the border from Nepal into India and made their way straight to New Delhi. A quick dash to Agra to see the Taj, then Jaipur to complete the Golden Triangle, before heading to Rajasthan's Lake City. Surat came next and then Amchi, Mumbai. I joined the group in gorgeous Udaipur. Alright, so that's what a proper SUV should look like, right? Completely splattered with mud. And don't forget, these vehicles have arrived into India having done most of their 15,000 kilometers already. So we're lucky to be able to go ahead and join them at this stage and head up to the end of the overall trail. That's of course in Mumbai. So we're starting off here in Udaipur. It's going to be fun. I was sharing my Evoque with Andreas Janke, a journalist from Germany, and along with him I was pretty impressed how the rest of the group too was handling Indian traffic. And yes, it was their first time here. Well, it's always great to be invited on such drives and such trips. I have to tell you that I had a little bit of a selfish ulterior motive as well for agreeing to be a part of this, and that's because the Evoque that I'm driving today is equipped with the new 9-speed gearbox. 9-speed. I was really curious to see how it drives. Now, I have to tell you that the gearboxes on these cars are sort of prototype stage, and so this perhaps isn't what the final production version is going to drive like. And these cars have been through a very arduous journey, haven't they? So it's not the smoothest, it's not the best response I'm getting right now. We've also gone through a whole lot of traffic, so still not seeing the big difference really between the previous gearbox and this one, but there is a long drive still ahead. As we pulled into a fuel stop, let's get to know this car just a little bit better. Bala spent some time with it in Germany a few days ago.
Land Rover's bestseller has got an upgrade. There are lots of new features, especially those that improve the driving dynamic. Now, we didn't really get large open stretches to really test the new ZF 9-speed transmission, and so we had to be content driving it through city traffic, but we could sense the smooth acceleration at low speeds as well. With a wide spread of gear ratios on the 9-speed gearbox, Land Rover claims strong performance and better fuel efficiency. The new transmission also offers ultra-fast response time and can also skip gears to match your driving style. The Evoque's new gearbox will be mated to the 2.2 diesel engine and 2.0 petrol engine. The 2014 Evoque gets 7 new driver assistance capabilities, including park exit to automatically exit parallel parking bays and perpendicular park to position the car centrally in parking bays. Also, the new Land Rover In-Control connected car system offers additional safety and tracking features. You also get new interior color options, 4 new alloy wheel styles and a new style of Land Rover badge on the grille, wheel hubs and tailgate. Sales have begun in the UK and Europe, but in India, the new Evoque is expected to arrive only by the first quarter of 2014.
Bala had a proper spec car, unlike the one I was driving, which was kitted out for the expedition. Well, our fueling was almost complete for all 11 cars in our convoy. It's not often you see a sight like that. All the cars refueled at the same pump, and so you've actually had 550 liters coming through, and the amount in rupees was about 30,389 rupees. Wow, I didn't know these machines could even go up that high. Yeah, I really didn't think about it, I guess. Let's get some more information on the drive now from Dak Roj. Dak, when you've been going through all the different countries, things like refueling or paying the toll on the highway, how difficult is that?
It's not difficult, but I'm always the best friend of the petrol stations, because when I come in with 11 cars, everybody is happy, and I fill the cars up with 551 liters. They are, do you want to have a coffee or something else like that? It's always funny. Everybody loves me at the petrol stations.
But the different currencies, how is it credit cards? How are you managing?
We have a lot of cash money with us. If it is possible to pay with credit cards, we try to pay with credit cards. In India it's easy, but in China, for example, it wasn't possible to pay with credit cards, so that was always a risk to get the right money, the right currencies there for. So.
What about the border crossings? How difficult was it in terms of making sure all the vehicles got through, everybody had the right paperwork?
We had some few border crossings which were very, very easily, but we had also some border crossings which were difficult. For example, from Kazakhstan to Uzbekistan, we stuck 13 hours in the no man's land, and the no man's land was totally filled up. So it was a very hard time for us. For example, for the ladies, they have to go to the toilet. There was no toilet, there was nothing. So that was very hard. China to cross was hard. But India, for example, it was totally easy. The people friendly, easy to handle. We had carnets, no problem.
The first leg had us driving a relatively short distance, 85 kilometers, to Dungarpur. Here we spent a little time at the fabulous Uday Bilas Palace. This property incidentally also houses the royal family's stunning collection of some fantastic cars. After a brief halt, it was time to head off to Surat, and along the way I got to know Andreas a little bit better. Would you have liked to have done this in its entirety, you know, all 52 or whatever days that we are doing this? Would you have liked to have driven from Berlin all the way?
Oh sure. Since this Range Rover is a very comfortable car, and we get they get to do a lot of off-road on the way. They go to Russia, China, all these Eastern states. I think it's a worthwhile experience. And I've spent my time in a classic Mini going from Bavaria in Germany to Baku, Azerbaijan.
Whoa.
So I'm used to narrow spaces. The Evoque, of course, it's a small Range Rover, but still very comfortable. And I mean, you have so many impressions of different cultures, and now Indian is just the top of it.
I can tell you, I would love to do it. I mean, if only you could get away for like 50 days. It's a little difficult to do that with your calendar, right? It's difficult to set aside 50-something days.
50 days, it's going to be hard, yeah. Plus, I'm so sorry, I missed the driving in Delhi. You say it's not that easy?
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
But what we say is that if you can drive in Delhi, you can drive anywhere. That's what we like to say.
Damn it, I've got to go back then, huh?
You got a good reason to come back.
Yeah, for sure.
But of course, you get to see the financial capital of India, Mumbai. That's where we're heading to tomorrow. So that's again a very big sort of crowded city and lots of cars on the road. So besides the the driving and the traffic, what else were you looking forward to when you came here?
Well, all the heritage. It's not just because driving the Silk Road is not like driving the Autobahn in Germany, which is fairly new. The Silk Road is it's got a name, and all these things happen. When you look it up, you say, oh my God, so many different.
Yeah, what I was going to ask you was about the car itself. Now, typically when you see such expeditions, they take big cars. They take the range-topping car. So were you surprised to know that they're doing it with the Evoque?
I was relieved because the Evoque is considered to be in Germany at least considered to be a girl's car, and with the way they placed it, it's no surprise. But finally, yeah, there's this. Yeah, we're just trying to stay in the convoy. Finally, they top it with some off-road accessoires, and it shows what it really can do, and it's still in one piece, and we're in India, so just in front of our destination, and it's full of dust. It's a real man's car, and I like it.
After lots of traffic, we got into Surat pretty late at about 10:30 p.m. But the next morning it was still wheels up at 5 a.m. The drive to Mumbai was smooth, and luckily, being a Saturday, we didn't get choked by the infamous Mumbai traffic.
I'll tell you what, we've had some tough bits, but for the most part, this has been a whole lot of fun. And that's part of the idea, isn't it? When you get out on a huge expedition like that, I wish I could have been there from the start, but I'll tell you what, everybody who has been has only good things to tell me. And vehicles, well, they performed pretty well too. Now all that's left for us is to get into the heart of Mumbai city. We're going to Marine Drive, of course, the big landmark, and that's where we have a big reception waiting for us, we're told. So Marine Drive it is.
Typical Indian band baja style reception indeed. It was a good culmination to a grand journey, and you could see the sheer emotion and sense of triumph everyone was feeling. So I've abandoned my car just for the last leg. We're going to head from Marine Drive to the famous Taj Hotel, of course, here in Bombay. And my ride, well, I switched across to the hybrid. So a few kilometers on this car. Yes, I did get a brief chance to drive the hybrid Rangy. But again, Bala had a much better chance. So here's his report on the car.
While Siddharth got to experience the overworked hybrids as they reached the end on the Silk Road, we managed to get behind the wheel of a brand new hybrid prototype in Frankfurt. Yup, it was more of a short drive really, but enough to test how effective the hybrid diesel powertrain really is. And the first impressions were quite good, especially with the large SUV doing something we weren't used to, silently wading through city traffic.
Now, going fully hybrid is a big step for Range Rover, especially when you want to combine off-roading capabilities like you get on the Range Rover with a silent electric motor. Also, the Range Rover Hybrid comes on the aluminium body, which makes it a lot more lighter, and also importantly, it gives it a much more fuel efficiency.
The Range Rover Hybrid uses Land Rover's popular 3-litre SDV6 diesel engine along with a 35 kW electric motor mated to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission. Both the engines combined generate 340 bhp at 4000 rpm and a phenomenal 700 Nm of torque. Given the short duration of our drive, we were quite keen to experience the EV mode of the 3-driver selectable modes, with the electric motor itself generating 170 Nm torque to boost acceleration. In this driving mode, the hybrid SUV can cover 1.6 kilometers at under 50 kilometers per hour before the diesel engine seamlessly kicks in. The regenerative braking helps charge the battery when the vehicle brakes. Interestingly, the SUV has been cleverly designed for the liquid-cooled battery pack mounted beneath the floor of the vehicle in a protective boron steel cradle. This not only saves cabin and luggage space, but Land Rover claims that the SUV's off-roading capabilities are safeguarded. The new hybrid is already on sale in the UK, with early deliveries expected at the start of 2014. No India launch plans though just yet.
All good things come to an end, and so had my Silk Road adventure. But I think one of my colleagues on the drive sums it up best.
Well, I think it's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, an expedition like that, fully organized, with amazing cars, especially in my age, 26, it's impossible to get to do by yourself. You do have favorites, definitely. I mean, Kyrgyzstan, for example, had absolutely amazing nature, really good off-road driving, which made it fun as well. We were camping outside rather than sleeping in hotels, so I think the mixture of Kyrgyzstan did it for me.
Yeah, sign me up too. The next expedition though will only happen in 2015. Back to the real world then.
about your upcoming films, if you can share something about. Well, I'd like to hear about Dawn 3, if that's.
Yeah, I would love to do it. Yeah. I've been telling
happy
for
New Year.
It seems very interesting. We've shot some and it's looking nice, and I want to make it because we're producing it actually. So I want to make it like the biggest looking, coolest looking. Ocean 11 should, say, hey, quickly let's make another one. Yeah, these guys have outdone us, kind of.
Ocean 14.
Ocean 14 or something.
The winner for our A for Adrenaline contest is Tarun Tripathi from Chennai. Congratulations, and you can now look forward to the ride of your life with Lewis Hamilton in Germany.